Chairman of the National Drug Law Enforcement Agency, Brigadier General Buba Marwa, on Wednesday raised concerns over the alarming prevalence of drug abuse among Nigerian youths, particularly those aged 15 to 29. Speaking at the two-day drug prevention and treatment care training program organized by the Kwara State government for teachers of public secondary schools in Ilorin, Marwa highlighted the severity of the issue. According to the 2018 National Drug Use Survey conducted by the UNODC, an estimated 14.3 million Nigerians aged 15 to 64 had used drugs in the preceding year. This figure is nearly 3 times the global average. Even more troubling is that 1 in 5 drug users in Nigeria suffers from drug use disorders and requires treatment. Marwa, who was represented by the Deputy Director of Drug Demand Reduction at Ndlea headquarters, Mohammed Bashir Ibrahim, lamented that schools, which are supposed to serve as safe spaces for learning and development, are increasingly becoming environments where drug and exposure and experimentation occur. Substances like cannabis, codeine, and emerging synthetic drugs are finding their way into the hands of students with devastating effects on their health, academic performance, and future prospects. We just talked about NAFDAC, Agency for Food, Drugs, and Administration Control, and then we have another concern from NDLEA. It's just been a health situation, but I want to get your thoughts about this. Why do you think there's a high rise on drug abuse amongst youths?
First and foremost, when you have a dysfunctional society, it means that you have dysfunctional families.
So those problems start from the family?
Of course. You know, the Bible that I read says in Proverbs, bring up a child, teach a child the way he should go. When he grows up, he will not depart from it. What you inculcated into children at their tender age, most times when their heads were still very empty, what you feed into their brain is what they grow with. We also know about peer pressures and the societal effects where people, when they are loose from the cage, they start to, but most times 65%, what they learn from the home shapes and directs the way every individual behave outside there. If you have a laissez-faire family, this is where everything goes. But when you have a family where some of these things you teach your children, sometimes when I see some of these videos, I call my family, I show them, are you seeing this person? What do you think will be the end of this person? This person that is, he took drug, and look at the way he's behaving. What do you think will be the long-term effect of this? We'll be discussing that. This person will share his opinion, this person will share, you know, we talk about it. You don't even need to tell them, don't do. The end, they will be the people to tell you, this could be the end of such a person. So what am I trying to say? In Nigeria, I think there should be a rejig in this. Let me say we just discussed about NAFDAC, and now it is NDLEA. Also, this NDLEA presently are not even performing optimally. Now, you see that sometimes it is even police that will go and raid drug abusers. But that is paramountly their duty and function. You don't need to, we don't used to see them in the streets. Does it mean they're just there in the barracks, and when you are crossing expressway, you see them stopping vehicles to, is that what, how can they achieve raiding of drug abusers by staying on the highway. I mean, there's a need to command the strategy Nigerians are using, especially some of these agencies. Perhaps something is wrong from the top. That's if you have a dysfunctional society, you have to also bring people who are trained to counter such abnormalities in the society. Don't they pass through trainings? There should also be constant training and retraining for them. Perhaps the strategy of last year will not work this year. You retrain them. So, but what I'm saying is there is a lot of laxity from these agencies.
Okay, so Barrister Okoro, the laxity from the agencies have caused the increasing rates of drug abuse amongst youth.
Of course.
You mentioned about the root cause, which is the family, and then peer pressure. How about individual decision? When an individual decides to do these things, most of our parents will not want to expose their children to this drug abuse, even though they consume them. So I don't know how the family roots actually comes into play there, but that is your thoughts. Well, I'm asking in cases where an individual decides to consume these things on their own, because if you make a survey about this drug abuse among youths, you would notice that most of them decided to get into these things on their own, because I like the way it makes me feel, and then all of what reasons they might have, but some of them actually know that yes, it's harmful to my health, but they just want to consume it because of how they feel. And then aside that, and there could be cases of some of them want to make the ones that make money from it, selling it, make them consume it. There could be different reasons why most of this situation happens. But I actually wanted to ask, what, aside the fact that the NDLEA have to, do what is right in this situation, aside the fact that they have to do what is right, the individuals also needs to understand that yes, we know how it feels, we know you like the way it feels, but you need to come in terms with the fact that these things are harmful to your health. You don't have to wait for the time where you get hot, or you start falling sick. You talked about the case of kidney failure, lungs and cancer and whatnot. It could not only be caused by foods that we consume, but this drug abusing circumstance. But I actually wanted to ask you, what other measures can individuals, what will be your thoughts on youths about this drug abuse situation? First off, that's what I wanted to ask you on.
Okay, let me come in this way. National Orientation Agency, NDLEA, paramountly should engage in an elaborate enlightenment of the society.
Okay.
I think they used to have budget. I don't know whether their budget, let me talk about the NDLEA. Their own budget, is it to provide them fuel to stay on the highway? But when they mention the elaborate budget, you wonder, it runs into billions. We wonder what they do with those things. There should be people who will be creating content, speaking on televisions, radio, through the social media, and all the rest. Go to schools, talk to people, go to universities, talk to students. Go to marketplaces, talk to people, individuals, and the market people. There should be constant enlightenment about these things. The word of God we hear, the Bible says, faith cometh from hearing. What you constantly hear influences your decisions and behavior. Yeah. So when you keep on, now talk of not only you are hearing, you are seeing visuals. You create content if in the media space. where you showcase some of these things. They are realities. It's not even, you don't need to dramatize it. You bring these things we watch from the social media. You bring it and talk about it. You try to showcase it. There is no way you keep on showing it. Now, what do you think is happening in all these people who do advertise? Coca-Cola up to today advertises. Pepsi keeps on advertising. Pick Me keeps on advertising. But these things we are there before I was born. They don't assume that we have known it. They keep on bringing it to your consciousness.
To sensitization.
You keep on sensitizing the people, the masses.
Necessary.
Yes, that enlightenment should not cease.
So you think that will actually work?
It will help. Of late, National Orientation Agency, they are just sleeping. I don't know whether they are existing in this country, I can't even say. But yet, people are there collecting salaries. These are some of their, it's not even an oversight functions or duties. They should be sensitizing the people on the effects, negative effects of harmful effects of all these
because we have
drugs.
the age range of 15 to 29.
Now,
imagine a child
this statistics is not even correct. It's there in the primary school.
Is there in the statistics is not correct?
Yes.
So
if one is 19,
primary school
from 10, I've seen it in the social media and video where group of primary school students, we are consuming these things. So it's not the issue of from 19. 19 is an adult now.
Do you feel that the case of family situation, do you feel most of this youths that are involved in this, their family are actually aware of it, or they have no idea because this is a societal problem?
Most times they don't have the idea.
Unaware, because you have a child, you should know your child to an extent. Does it mean that most of the parents don't pay attention to their kids to know that, oh, this my child at this age is not acting the normal way? Because it has effects, internal effects. When you consume these products, there are ways you react to them. You know, parents are they not supposed to be watchful and know, oh, my child is not acting the way he or she is supposed to act, you know, because the effects of those drugs. You know, I'm trying to ask you on that thought. When you were talking about the case of families, does it mean that most of those families do not have idea about their situation?
Most families don't have idea until the devastating effect occurs. That is when they will know. The father leaves house by 5 a.m. The mother leaves by 7. The father comes in by 9 p.m. The mother comes in by 7. Who are the parents you are talking about? These children are left. What most parents know these days is food is there. Go to the fridge, go to wherever, go to the cupboard, go to the kitchen, take your food. People, the effect, the harshness of the economy are pressurized families. This person is struggling, this person is struggling. No time to
paying attention to the
okay,
so like you said from the beginning, the roots of this cause also from family first.
Of course.
And then we'll find when this youth notice that we're not getting the attention we deserve from our parents, we're not able to share our emotions, then they fall into peer pressure because you notice that, oh, my friend gives me this time and my friend consumes this drug, and then I would want to, you know, be in that space because I don't know if I'm trying to make sense. So I want to be in that space. So because this is what my friend does and my friend gives me this attention, then I decide to consume this particular thing with this friend. So it continues like that. You have just explained it. When I was in school, where I live, I used to maintain. I had a space outside the campus. When I don't feel like staying in campus, I just go to my... So, one guy who stays in the same compound with me came and told me he brought this cannabis and asked me to test it, that it will change my mentality, to change. Then I asked him, what? I'm okay the way I feel. I wanted to ask, what additional gain should I have? Number one, will it make me to be brighter as a student? No, he said it will not just make me feel high. High to where? Where am I high and going?
You understand? So I didn't understand the benefit. I don't know what I should feel high about. My concentration was I want to be at least be above an average student. That's my concern. Not feeling high over who. I will let you. So I dispelled him on that.
Okay.
And he never came again with that. He told me this one is the head, is the seed. I should test this one. Test the seed with I will know the difference, not all the. I dispelled him when I could not know the benefit of that. It will make me go higher. Is it higher in finance or what?
So and that comes in. Imagine if you were 15 and then you didn't get the attention. You talked about parents that leave the house by 8 a.m. and come back by 7 p.m. Imagine if you were 15 and then this friend was the only friend that was there that you can talk, communicate with, spend time with, and then this friend tells you, try to influence you to consume this
definitely
drug.
I will be influenced.
Yes. So the root cause is also from the family to the pressure, individual, and then to the government.
Exactly.
So
parents should advise their children to know the kind of friends they should follow.
Okay.
Yes. And again, let me also mention, let's not just leave it for the parents alone. Sometimes we push out our kids to the schools. When I was growing up, we used to have what we call moral instruction. I don't know whether it still exists now or not.
Okay.
These moral instructions, sometimes they invite outsiders, some resource persons. They come, they talk to the children. Sometimes they divide girls and boys. There could be some things the girls should need to hear alone, and they will go. Sometimes they will divide them from social age to social age. Go this way. From social age to social age, go this way. There are things the adult girls need to hear that these other ones. They separate them. Maybe one auntie will be talking to that resource person will be talking to the adult girls. So during the moral instruction or whatever. But I don't know whether those things exist up till now.
Okay.
So the school is also part of the socialization agencies, whereby the parents do what they can do, hand over to the teachers continue. But I don't think those things are obtainable these days.
Okay.
Yeah, you leave your children at the hand of a vulnerable teacher, a teacher who also indulges in this type of things. Perhaps he will be the one sending the children. By the time he carries the children, tells him where they get such things. The next time he will relax in his this thing. Next time he will just call the boy and send him on such errand. Sometimes these boys, like one of my friends, those days, he told me that he started smoking from primary school. How did he start smoking? From teacher. He said when during break, the teacher will carry him will ask him to go and buy a cigarette for him. And when the man will go and stay one corner and smoke. After smoking, those ones he is dropping, the boy will start testing it. Yes. So he got, interested with the aroma of this stuff.
And it's something he sees continuously.
Yes, he sees continuously, and because these teachers, sometimes you just see them with a particular boy, you think that he loves some other people's kids will be even envying him. But you don't know what is happening. And then
it will be a continuous process until this child becomes
becomes an adult.
And then it could continue. He can transfer it to someone else.
Definitely. That child will now be the ones to teach
somebody else.
Other children. So those are the issues. When we talk about the families, the schools are also there. The schools should help. They brought what they call civic education. I've scanned through it. The civic education, in my own thinking and understanding of what civic should have been, I now see that they just changed government to the name civic. It's just a change of nomenclature. I was thinking that some of these thoughts should have been inculcated into the curriculum of civic education. But with what I've seen, it's not just there. You talk about what they did was they transformed social studies and part of government into civic education.
Oh, thank you very much, Esquire, on that. First off, you said about the root cause, which is the family, the peer pressure, and the school, the education sector. And parents should also pay attention to their children. And then you made mention of the National Orientation Agency coming into and getting enlightenment programs where individuals are enlightened about the negative effects of this drug abuse. And the NDLA restructuring and doing something better they haven't done before in order to curb this constant rise in drug abuse amongst youth. Am I right about that?
You are very correct.
Thank you so much.